What's up, guys? Adapark here, and today we are taking a second look, the second part of the video that I put out yesterday, where we talked about you as a raider disagreeing with a raid leader, disagreeing with an officer, disagreeing with someone in a leadership position, in a group, in a guild, in whatever setting that you are currently in your raid environment into. The whole perspective, was you, the raider. So we're going to flip it around, and instead I want to talk about the perspective of the raid leader, the officer, the guy in charge, the person that you're coming to, the person that you're doing these things. You know, how are they taken? How should you handle situations like this? Because the way you handle these situations is so important. It's so imperative that you properly handle these situations. So, the reason why is twofold. One, I want to make sure that you guys, the raiders and the raid leaders, understand how to handle these situations. But I've also seen this. I had recently an officer of mine who was very poor at handling disagreements. If you as a raider did not disagree with him, he did not like it. And regardless of any of his other great qualities, which he had many, this was probably one of his worst qualities. And not that I'm trying to talk trash, talk shit, anything like that, but it's a reminder that regardless of how long you've been playing the game, how long you've been raiding, raid leading, guild leading, whatever you've been doing, there's always room for improvement. So that's why we want to do this. And I want to remind you guys, we did the example yesterday where I gave Star Augur during phase 4 of the fight. There are ads that will spawn, and you either need to do one of two things. One of two calls that need to be made. The first is kill the big ad that pops up and then switch back to the boss, or stick on the boss, ignore the big ad. Still got to cleave down little ads, but we're not worried about that. We're not worried about what call you, the raid leader, make. Simply that there is a call and then there is a disagreement. And then we're going to talk about bigger issues. So let's talk about the small one. You make a call, the big ad comes out and you say, hey, switch to it or stick on the boss. Again, doesn't really matter. We don't really care about that. Someone disagrees with you. They call you out in Vent, Discord, TeamSpeak, Skype, whatever you're using, in raid chat, whatever. Don't switch to this, stay on that, do this, do that. They're very clearly trying to sway what the rest of the raid is doing. Okay, first of all, why would they want to do this? Really, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. But they may think that they know better. They may see that you are an inexperienced raid leader. They may see that you have only killed this boss 1 or 2 times, and they've killed it on a higher difficulty, or they've killed it more times than you, or you simply haven't even killed it yet. They may be trying to just fuck with you. They may be trying to troll you. They may be trying to mess with the raid. Or they could be right. They could be making the right call. Now, we'll get to right and wrong calls most definitely in a later video. But there is the potential, and I want you guys to keep this in the back of your mind when you make these calls as a raid leader and someone disagrees with you, they could be right about it. And that's an acceptable thing for both you, the raid leader, and for them, the raider. That potentially you, the guy in charge, could be wrong. So what do? You make a call, somebody vocally, visually, audibly says, no, wrong call, do this instead. First and foremost, don't get pissed. Don't get mad. Don't get angry. The reason for this is very simple. If you get pissed off and if you let it get to you and your blood pressure starts rising and, you start to see red, you're not going to be thinking clearly. And then you go down that very slippery slope of, one mistake turns into bigger mistakes. And we've talked about it before, these ripples that turn into huge waves because you're pissed off and you're not thinking clearly. So you say or you do something that you will later regret or will have lasting effect to both your raid and the way that they perceive you as a leader. So instead, use it as an advantage. Put people to work. get information. We talked about this yesterday. You make a call, for example, switch to the ad, and somebody goes, no, the boss is super low, stick on the boss. That right there, then and there, you need to make a call out and say, okay, what percentage is the boss at? 20%. No. 5%. Okay. Those two are very different numbers that very much so should influence the way that you make that call. So get that information. Maybe you didn't see that the boss was at 5%. Maybe you didn't see that the boss was at 20%. Make sure that you put these guys to work and go, okay, give me some more information, because I, as the raid leader, am going to make a second call. I'm going to reevaluate quickly the call that I've made. Do not pull rank. Somebody makes a call, don't do that, do this. No, I'm the raid leader. You're going to do what I say. Don't do that. You immediately have lost all respect if you have to do that. I was reading something, and hopefully you guys that have watched my videos have picked up on, I do a lot of reading about military stuff for obvious reasons. I spent a good chunk of my early adult lifetime in the Marine Corps. So, I'm reading this thing where this guy says, hey, I just got promoted. I'm now a corporal in the Marine Corps, and I have no fucking clue what to do. And one of the biggest pieces of advice that the guys on Reddit were giving this young corporal: do not pull rank. You are a corporal. That does not mean you have to remind everybody that you are in charge. You are the guild leader. You are the raid leader. You don't need to go, no, I'm in charge of this raid. You shut up. You're no longer in charge of that raid. You have very quickly eroded your potential, your ability to lead the rest of the group, because they're going to go, what? Yeah, we know. Why are we putting up with your stupid shit if you got to, call out? Yeah, we know. Remember, when it comes to raiding, especially, it's a video game. Regardless of what's going on, the pressures and the performance and the hassle and issues and stress, it's still a video game, which means that nobody, unless you're that top tier echelon, and we're talking very few people in this world, nobody's paying you to play this game. So you can leave at any point. We've talked about this, but that also means that you, as a raid leader, they are allowing you to be in charge of them. You are not, put in charge by someone supreme, over them. They have agreed by joining your group, your guild, that they will listen to what you say. That is their agreement to you. So do not pull rank. Assess the situation, get your information, and then make a second call. Like I said, you make a call to do this or that. Somebody disagrees. You get the information that the boss is at 20% health or 5% health. Again, the call doesn't matter, but that information may sway one way or the other your second call out, your reassessment of the information, and your new call, your new decision. Quickly call out, he's right, stick on the boss. He's not right. Make sure you guys are on the ads. And explain why. Very quickly. Boss's health is too high. 20%, boss's health is too high. You guys got to get on the ad. Or, you're right, boss's health is super low. Stick to the boss. Tank. Make sure you're popping cooldowns because the, healers, whatever. Just make sure that it's quick, to the point. You shouldn't be, okay, you're right. So the boss's health is at 5%. So, DPS, go ahead and switch back. No. Nobody's got time for that shit, because people have already, people are getting confused. People are on this target, on that target. People are unsure. You need to very quickly, this is what we're going to do and why. Quickly. Make sure that people understand your call out. You could get a text message. Make sure people understand your call out. This is what we're going to do. I've made a call. Someone disagreed. I've made a second call. It may be the same one, may be different. Do it. Make sure you guys are making small adjustments, not big ones. If there is a disagreement and you say do this and they say do that, don't completely, scrub your raid strategy and start over. Instead, if you guys wipe, if you got to go back, go, okay, guys, we really find that if the boss is at 5% health or less, go and ignore the ad. Kind of this sweeping, okay, now we know. Now we don't even have to worry about it anymore. Don't make big sweeping changes, especially in the middle of the raid. You're going to confuse people. You're going to overcomplicate things. People aren't going to know what's going on. Don't do it. So that's all for a call out that gets disagreed upon. Now, what if there is a bigger problem within your group, your guild? There's a guild policy that people don't like. There is an officer or a way of handling a situation, or in general, a person that people just don't like, or one person does not like. How do you, as either the person that is doing the offending thing, or the guy in charge, you're the guild leader, one of your officers is doing something bad, how do you handle it? So the policy that we talked about on yesterday's video was very ludicrous for obvious reasons. That you have set a guild policy that every raid night, let's say you raid, my guild raids 3 nights a week, that every raid night, or every week, I think I said, not that it really matters. This is a ludicrous example, but every week, you as a raider are required to provide to the guild bank 20 flasks of, whatever stat. You're a healer, it's got to be in, you're a fucking kitty druid or whatever, it's got to be agility. Doesn't matter. You have to supply 20 flasks. Even if you only raid 3 hours a week. Whatever. Again, obviously, you guys should be able to see, where we're going here. That this is just a crazy, stupid call out, right? So someone approaches you and they go, look, man, I don't really like this policy. Like, can we just make sure that we provide enough flasks? Make sure that you listen to the problem. Don't, half-heartedly listen. Don't, be doing something else. If they seriously approach you about a serious problem, look, I really need to talk to you about this. I don't like the way we're handling it. Put 5 minutes, 10 minutes aside where you're not, doing a Mythic Plus, where you're not recording YouTube video, where you're not, doing something, talking to someone, that's in the room with you, or whatever the case might be. Seriously give them your undivided attention. Seriously listen to their problem. And then once they talk to you, make sure you understand the problem, because their problem may not initially be how they are describing and what they're saying it is. They may be saying, I'm sick and tired of supplying flasks to the guild bank. This is bullshit. Why do I have to do it? And you go, okay, what's the best solution? They go, look, man, can we just bring enough for us instead of this outlandish number? That is, you make sure you understand where the gripe, where the complaint is. Now, obviously, bigger issues. It could be a disagreement with, an officer, or just somebody's an ass. An officer, raid leader, somebody's just being a dick. Make sure you understand what's going on. And then get examples. If you either are the offending person or you are in charge of that offending person and someone comes to you, get examples. Okay, when did he say these things? When did he do these things? When did he handle a situation that was unacceptable, that you did not like, that you did not appreciate, that, whatever. Make sure you know specific times and think back on it. Make sure you take this discussion between you and the offended person seriously. Do not make sweeping policy changes. Hopefully the big lesson we're getting here is don't go, okay, I've sat down, I just talked to you, you don't like this guild policy, so we're scrapping it and we're coming up with the new one and we're going to do this. Don't do that. Seriously take time to consider the issue at hand, solutions to the issue, if things do or do not need to be changed. I tell my guild members fairly often that if you guys have a problem, I want you to bring it to my attention. I do. If there's an issue, if there's a serious enough issue where you are considering not raiding, if you are not enjoying your time, I would prefer that you come to me and talk to me about it. Do not expect things to change. However, at least let your voice be heard. Accept the fact that you as a leader aren't perfect. That's okay. You're going to make mistakes. That's okay. Fix the mistakes. But don't make these sweeping changes without seriously reflecting on the issue at hand. Take the night. If after a raid night somebody comes and they complain about something, that's a big deal. We don't like the way this thing is being handled. It needs to change. Okay. Go to work, drive to work, go to school, go home, take a shower, get this thing. Okay. Is this something that could be an issue? If I were in their shoes, would I want to change this, etc.? Do that. But again, you're not obligated to make any change whatsoever. However, you can't just say, fuck it, I'm in charge. They'll do what I tell them to do. Instead, give them a serious, give them your time and your serious reflection on the issue. And if changes do need to be made, make them. Commit to them. Remember that you are, as a raid leader, as a guild leader, as a person in charge, your job is to make sure that progression is made. And again, like I said on yesterday's video, that doesn't mean that every night you kill a new boss, but that means that every single pull you are making progress. That the first pull, you get that boss down to 90%. Second pull, you get him down to 85, 86%. Third pull, you keep going, that you're not regressing, and you get him down to 50% health consistently, and then you start wiping it at 80%. Don't do that. The second thing is make sure that issues are kept to a minimum. Be mindful of issues that could crop up. And third, when problems do arise, whether it be someone disagrees with you or there is a big issue, handle it. Don't make drama. You do not want drama. Make sure that you are doing your part as a leader by fixing these issues. And when you make calls, whether they be small, switch to this, don't switch to that, or big, hey, here's the new group policy, here's the new guild policy on bringing 20 flasks to the raid group every night or whatever. Get the information you need, think on it, make a change, and then stick with it. Commit to it, guys. This is my best advice to you as a raid leader, as a leader in general. It doesn't have to be World of Warcraft related, but if there are issues, this is how they should be taken care of, in my opinion. Hopefully you guys like what I'm saying here. If you do, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Both of those things tell me most definitely that you want to see more content like this. If you want to leave a comment in the comment section below, you agree, you disagree with any of these points, please, by all means, definitely do so. Just like I said in this video and the previous one, if there is a problem with my YouTube channel, if there's something you guys don't like, say something. I don't know unless you guys say something. If you want to see something, if you have a question, pertaining to handling guild, raid, all that good stuff, let me know in the comment section below. And until next time, guys, I'll see you.